Hello, loves. How has the Arcturus gateway been treating you? We had a beautiful live in the members portal. As I'm recording this on the 19th of October, the gateway is nearing, its soul is shifting out from conjunction with Arcturus. But on this date, there's something really magical going on. So we're going to start to bring in the frequencies of the Venus star point. Right now, Mars is in Gemini. And we've talked, if you've been following along, and lots of people are talking about Mars in Gemini because it's one of the signature frequencies, the signature energies for the rest of this year, going into next year, because Mars is about to go retrograde the day before Halloween on the 30th of October, and then stay in Gemini, kind of backtrack. That's not where we're going right now. Over these next couple of days, as Mars is still moving forward, as Venus and the Sun are getting closer together, Mars is hitting an exact trine with Arcturus. Arcturus is in Libra, Mars is in Gemini. Venus and the Sun also in Libra. The Sun is shifting away from Arcturus, Venus is shifting over, and they're all in this trine with Mars. Mars in Gemini, for me, I keep saying, it feels like a reminder, like we're being reminded again and again and again that our thoughts are actions, our expression, our thoughts, our communication, the words that we speak, everything is an action. With this trine with Venus, it's like Mars is bringing this action, this birthing, this passion. Mars is also passion to our relationships, to that which we desire, to beauty. That's Venus, right? And the Sun is our sense of self. In our natal chart, it's our self, our outward expression of self, more specifically. And we've talked about Arcturus, right? Arcturus is kind of the Akashic records, the place where we are held, where we go when we leave and kind of commune once again with our friends, all of those beings of light that we are connected to in our journey, both incarnate and in light. There's another. This is actually a Grand Air Trine, because Vesta is in an exact trine with both Mars in Gemini and Venus, Arcturus, and the Sun in Libra over there in Aquarius. And Vesta is home and hearth, is one of the ways that Vesta has been perceived. And part of that is that Vesta represents the eternal flame, that light that ignites our dance of life, would be a way to say it, that keeps us feeling warm and safe while we journey. This energy is in Aquarius, the sign of transcendence. So Venus is in Libra, and is about to hit the first Libra star point in over a century. Venus has been hitting star points in Scorpio ever since. I'll have more about that in the Cosmic Light Drops. Right now, it feels more aligned to speak about the eternal flame helping us transcend where we relate, how we connect to what we desire and to our passions. Can we release old wounding? That's Arcturus, right? Old wounds, karma. We spoke in the last update about karma, and it's feeling to come in a little bit here and say, what if what we perceive as karma is how we come through our wounds? What if Chiron and karma are kind of synonymous, right? So the way it's coming through is, can we release the old ways in which we have related to passion? The old ways in which we have communicated our passions and our desires. Mars is offering us a chance to express ourselves in a different way. A lot of Mars energy, people so often, they're like, Mars is war, the god of war. But that's us, right? I was facilitating one of the Oracle card transmissions for the Scorpio new moon for our members portal today. And part of what came in as this trine, and it feels like it wants to come in here as well, is we have Mars and Venus, right? They are the planets on either side of the Earth. What if we could shift a little bit our perception and feel into Venus as Isis? Venus is Isis, the goddess Isis, and Mars as the god Osiris, and the Earth as Horus. That what is happening here on this planet in our incarnate behaviors and everything that we do and our expressions and our relationships is actually the reflection, the unification of these two planes of existence, right? So we have love and beauty, luxury, what we desire, our connections, our relationships. That's all Venus, right? Then we have Mars. We've given Mars power, passion, war, conflict. But what if through this new emergence, as Mars spends all this time in Gemini, allowing us to rethink the way we communicate with that aspect of the energy, that aspect of us? Because this is not separate from us. That's the thing, right? When we get down to it, if we are feeling Mars is Osiris and Venus is Isis, we are Horus, we are the reflection of these energies in physical form. How we allow each one to express in our world, how we describe them, is a reflection of us. It's not some separate thing from us. So if we are calling Mars the god of war, how are we going to stop warring with ourselves? If we can't stop warring with ourselves, how are we going to stop warring with other people? And Venus, luxury. Luxury has this, I was going to say connotation, this vibration in our current society of something that's exclusive. And in a meditation recently, I was really feeling how you can't spell exclusive without exclude. Exclusionary. Maybe part of what Libra star pointing in Libra, Venus star pointing in Libra, with this Arcturus conjunction, in this trine to Mars, with the Grand Air Trine, air is the mental body, with Vesta, that which we feel, that which lights us up and also keeps us warm and safe. It cooks our food, right? Our internal food, our brain, our mental food even. What if all of this is kind of a spotlight on us to help us remember that there are other ways? We can view Mars as rebirth. We are birthing a new way of expressing ourselves. And Venus is going into Libra star point, so we can find love for self. That's why the sun is there, right? Find love for self so that we can then express that love in our collaborations, in our relationships. And the whole time Vesta is there holding the space for us and saying, this is how we ignite. This is how we bring in, how we transcend. We can transcend these thought forms. We can transcend these thought forms, these ways that we have always thought about these archetypes and about ourselves, about other people. Can we find ways to include rather than exclude and luxuriate in that, maybe? But all of this feels like it's that Chiron and Aries energy of remembering our self-sovereignty, remembering our connection to one another, rebirthing our sense of self so that we can engage in relationship with other in a true way, from a non-combative way. Because if you're secure in who you are, then you don't have to get into petty squabbles with somebody else who is trying to make you fit into something that's not yours. As I've been thinking about this, I used to design clothes, and I really like making the cut, the show. It's a Project Runway spin-off, kind of, but it's Tim and Heidi. I also like cooking shows. And one thing that I've always noticed with these shows is when it comes to team challenges, the places where people have the hardest times, the people who tend to have the hardest times in a team challenge are the ones that have the most distorted ego situation. Usually they seem very bombastic and boastful, right? But really, it's a deep wound in their sense of self, and so they're unable to cooperate because they're constantly in a state of pluming up their feathers to try and look good. I've been feeling this a lot with the idea of narcissist. I guess we're going into narcissism. I mean, Eros is Venus's sun, right? When we feel narcissism, most people associate a narcissist as somebody who only cares about themselves. And as I have been really exploring and exploring through my own relationships with other people who have narcissistic tendencies and the narcissistic tendencies within myself, because each and every one of us has that within us. The thing that I have found is when you get down into the center, into the core of the, it's like the seed pod that blooms that narcissistic flower. The narcissus. There's a flower. It's a wound of not being seen. It's a wound of not being seen. And usually you can track it back to not being held, not being seen in early development. And it can manifest then in very different ways as you grow up. You can find yourself, I found myself playing with this territory as well. We collectively can find ourselves holding this wound, and the scar tissue that comes up and builds up around it is, I better look out for myself because nobody else is going to. I am not protected, so I need to do everything. You build walls to protect yourself. If you don't feel protected, barriers around your heart. That's very common for us humans. For any animal, really, if you've been wounded in early development, there's a tendency to build up all of this scar tissue around the heart space. And one of the ways that can then manifest is as self-centered, as not caring about others. Though there's also the narcissistic tendencies of take care of self first, but I really care about other people. I care deeply about other people, but I need to make sure I've got mine. And it's funny, right? Because that's also self-sovereignty. So how these lines are so fine. They're so fine. And where it comes down, the answer is this coming from a place of love, or is it coming from a place of fear? If it's coming from a place of love, then that's self-sovereignty. If it's coming from a place of fear, then that's narcissism. See how interesting that is? It's all about the frequency. And when something is happening from a place of love, it could feel bad. Like, say you're breaking up with someone you still love deeply, but you know that it's not the right relationship. That fucking hurts. It hurts you, it hurts them. You don't understand why? But you know that the love is telling you that you guys are not a good fit. And it's better to walk away, and maybe through that you get to maintain a friendship with that person. Whereas if you stay in the relationship because you're like, but I love you, and you're afraid, maybe there's a fear in there of leaving, of stepping out on your own. There's a codependency even. You'll probably end up resenting one another as opposed to staying in a strong, healthy, hearthful relationship. I did not know we were going there today when I popped this camera on. There's a lot of really, really amazing and beautiful energy as we're coming into this eclipse wormhole. The Arcturus gateway is opened up and is funneling us into the Libra Venus star point as Saturn stations direct and stops moving backwards, so we can start to look at the foundations that we have built internally and express them outwardly. That's part of this energy as well. And then we have the solar eclipse, the new moon eclipse in Scorpio. And I'm going to talk about that in another video. We'll have that coming in the next few days. But one way that we can start to feel into the energy is exploring how a Scorpio new moon eclipse conjunct Venus might be helping us unearth secrets about our sense of self. And with love held by Venus, allowing us to eclipse them out. I will have the latest issue, the latest edition of Cosmic Light Drops from the 17th Dimension out shortly. There will be a link below so you can sign up if you feel called to have that drop straight into your inbox. Or maybe it's already out by the time you're watching this. Either way, there's links below. You can go to blueflameapothecary.com and find all of the stuff. Come check out the members portal if you feel so called. It's a beautiful space, and there's access to the Arcturus Gateway transmission in there, to the Blue Flame frequency program, the Light Codes frequency program. There's all kinds of yummy stuff. There's so many meditations and these oracle card transmissions that I do every lunar cycle. If you liked this video, let me know. What did you think? Share a comment. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. It does. It really helps every aspect of this. It helps me to know what's resonating with you guys and to hold space for everyone. I love sharing that light with you guys in the comment section as well. Also, there's the one-on-one sessions, and there's 3 ways to journey one-on-one now. So come check that out. There'll be links for everything. I'll put complimentary frequency, energy update, links, all the stuff, all the things. And as always, in all ways, so much and many loves to you from all the dimensions. Mwah.